I wanted a place for people to receive authentic guidance and practical ways to awaken. Thought-provoking, paradigm-shifting, and empowering. This is about expanding our human consciousness to create a wave of new possibilities. I'm Dr. Theresa Bullard, and this is Quantum Minds TV. Welcome back to Quantum Minds TV, where we take a deep dive into various perspectives on what it's going to take to create a shift in human consciousness. In this episode, we're continuing the conversation with mentor, leader, and sovereign Ipsissimus of the modern mystery school, Dave Lanyon, who bridges the worlds of hermetics, metaphysics, and spirituality with practical wisdom that can be universally applied to change people's lives. There's so much I want to talk to you about, and I have many more questions, but I'm thinking like, okay, what is the most important that I want to ask you right now? We're on this mission, and the mystery school, the mystery school has often been thought of as a mystery because sometimes it's been closed doors, sometimes it's been, only by invitation and secret and hidden, and so we have a history within the lineage, and not just our lineage, but other mystery school lineages as well. There have been times where we've been open and available and for people to find and openly teaching. And then there's other times where it's been driven underground for one reason or another, whether it's because of persecutions and inquisitions, or because people just, abusing the knowledge, and we had to kind of protect it and its integrity. There could be, infighting that's happened, because people's egos come up. There's all manner of reasons, but, there's this history of going underground and then yet preserving and then resurfacing at some point. And every time it's resurfaced, it often coincides with the age of enlightenment, a golden age, a renaissance, a time of great progression and prosperity and transformation. And every time it goes underground, this well of wisdom, or this river of wisdom, it coincides with the dark ages, or a time of suppression. So we've been tasked with this mission, not only to help, bring this better world by bringing the mystery school teachings out. We've also been tasked with, we have to ensure the preservation and continuation of the mystery school into future generations, even long beyond us, even when we're gone. So as someone who is an amazing strategist, also, and as a lineage holder and as a major leader within the mystery school, and working with a team of very strong people, how do you see that is going to happen? How do we continue forward? Because it's not easy being a mystery school out in the public eye. And so we've hit some challenges along the way. And what do you think is really most important for us to maintain an open door policy and be able to preserve the lineage for future generations?
It's a really good question. The Spartans were the best warriors in their time. Spartan warriors. They were the elite of the elite. Their entire society was built on being the best of the best of the best. And if you didn't hit a certain criteria, they would actually go so far as to end their own children because they just weren't at the certain quality. And there's been some great movie, like the movie 300 was a great movie with Gerard Butler and big men Spartan guys. So Spartans were in reality the greatest warriors of their age. So what happened to them? They don't really exist anymore. They haven't become anything else. What happened to the Spartans is they eliminated themselves by pursuing only the best of the best of the best, of only being 1% of the population. And there just wasn't enough people to keep reproducing Spartans. And so Sparta basically vanished. The entire Spartan culture eventually just died off because of its own standards. And something I've watched as I've been helping manage the mystery school is that there has to be ways for people to choose how far they want to go in terms of, stepping in for a little bit, maybe being being on the journey as a hobby, I would say that it's not as beneficial because you're not going to, if you have inconsistent effort, you can't expect consistent results. So, coming in for a little bit, but we do have to make room for everyone to partake at the level that they want to. A little bit, a lot. That doesn't change the need of greater commitment to higher levels because your ego is going to be challenged. But it does mean that you have more flexibility in how far you want to pursue it and at what speed you want to pursue it. In other words, the mystery school and its lineage has to be accessible to everyone. And the one thing that we used to be, those who were in the lineage, and this goes back even before your or my time, Theresa, is that they had to be the most dedicated, 100%, a very, very teeny tiny enclosed lineage. And I just don't feel that that's as necessary. To be a senior, a master teacher, an expert in a field, yes, you must be 100% committed. But for the rest, I think it's less necessary because I think in time, the exposure to the light brings everyone forward. Some move quicker, some move slower. But for the light to expand, there has to be more room for people to sort of sit within their own challenge. So when founder Goodney was taking you and I through training and a bunch of other people, he kind of demanded the best of the best. Everyone had to be a Spartan, so to speak. But the mystery school is not like that today. There is still the Spartans of the mystery school, so to speak, but the mystery school is for everyone. And if you, to me, if you only pick up one or two pieces that improve your life, that's one or two pieces that your life's gotten better from. And that's I think that's good. I would say pick up all the pieces, make it all good, but I'll take a 10% shift into the light over zero. If the deal is you have to do 100% or nothing, I'll take the 10% because I think if that makes people's lives better for them, then that's a good thing. So part of its sustainability is to be what it's always been, but maybe with more room for your level of commitment to yourself. Because on the path, the commitment is to the self. It's your own progression. And so I think we make more room for people to come from all different places and to be in different spots on that path.
Yeah, very well said. Thank you. Now, when we look at Shambhala and creating a world of balance, right, it starts within our own lives and living what feels like a peaceful, harmonious, joyful, beautiful life, and then helping propagate that outwards, into your family, your community, and into the world. And I see that also within the mystery school itself, that we as a mystery school are like a microcosm. And truly, our doors have been open to everybody. Everybody's welcome. And we have a sampling of everybody from all walks of life, all different types of personalities, all types of different orientations and identities and so forth, all there within the mystery school. So we're like a little microcosm to the macrocosm. And so we, are very much working to try and create that experience of like a Shambhala like community, or, peaceful, everyone's accepting each other. Doesn't mean you're best friends with everyone, but, we all love and accept and work towards a common mission. It's a common good. And I think a big part of this is having a nice balance and flow of co-creation between, there's the masculine and there's the feminine. There's, for example, within the mystery school structure itself, we have the third order, which is the three men who are lineage holders, who are holding that energy at a very high level. But then we also have a council of 12 women who are each embodying, feminine archetypal, kind of divine feminine energy in their own ways, very uniquely, and working together, right? But from an outside perspective, some people look at this and they project onto our structure, oh, it's a patriarchy. It's just a hierarchical structure. It's old patriarchy because you've got the 3 men at the top and then everyone else underneath that. And how would you respond to, because I don't experience it that way at all. I experience us very much as a team. We're all working together. The men have different roles. The lineage holders have a really unique role. You guys earned your spot, and the commitment level is so there. And the personal sacrifices that you've made to really commit to the propagation and the integrity of the lineage. And yet the mystery school very much is, run by women. Most of the master teachers are women, and most leadership and the CEOs of the different regional centers are women. So, I'd like to just kind of dive into this conversation so that we can address it, because we often hear this criticism, or it's, that people assume based on their own issue with the world and projecting it onto us. How is this different?
Yeah, it's well, there's a couple of pieces that come into this. One is, it is first and foremost, it's not inherently bad to have a thing or things that are specific to one sex. I somehow in the world today, if you say this is something that really only works with women, or this is what we only do with men, there's some inherent evil in that, and that's simply not true. I mean, there are things that are specific to women and things that are specific to men. You have washrooms for women and washrooms for men, and there's always areas in things, and it helps us in our exploration of ourselves to have this. Now, in terms of the mystery school, it's a bit different in the way it works, because the third order is an order of men only and can only be occupied energetically by men. Council of 12 Women is a council, can only be occupied by women. It has to do with a spiritual flow, because the higher order is the divine feminine. And so the divine feminine talks to the masculine. And then the masculine, which is the third order, goes to the Council of 12 Women and says, would you agree with this? And the Council of 12 Women have the right to say no. And then the third order has nothing they can do about it. They just have to go, okay, we have to come back with a different concept. It's kind of like the power to veto. It is through this harmony that the mystery school is run. And what you say is true. The Council of 12 Women and others not even on the council, they're the true powerhouse in the mystery school that allow the mystery school to function every single day and to have its flow, and why it helps so many people. Our job as the third order is to primarily keep the lineage clear, is to make sure that an ego doesn't come in, a teaching doesn't get changed, nothing sort of gets twisted up in a mistake. But the delivery of that energy and of everything that this mystery school is about is so much about the Council of 12 Women. And in our divine aspects, I mean, I teach a class about divine masculine and feminine. We need to understand that we do hold differences. We are not the same, and we are able to wield our power in different ways. And something that everyone in the world who doesn't understand this needs to is we need each other. Men are not superfluous to the world, and women are not superfluous to the world. And we need each other's energies in our lives and in the world. And we need each other's way of doing things equally to make the world a better place. And those that see either sex as a problem see an aspect of the divine as a problem, and that's not going to get you very far. So yeah, those that disagree with this, I can understand from the way society seems to be operating today. But I would say, as you've identified, that is coming from your own misunderstandings of how it works, as opposed, and your own perhaps resistances, as opposed to the reality of how it functions.
Let's take a pause from this fascinating conversation to enjoy a quick consciousness break.
Introduction to Kabbalah Chants, a healing meditation series for awakening the tree of life within. Each album in this 11-part series is specially tuned to musical frequencies, soundscape, and divine names that capture the essence of each sephira on the tree of life. The music of these healing meditations is tuned to a 432 Hz musical scale, which is a pure frequency fundamental to the sacred geometry and mathematics of the universe. The more our cells become in tune with this frequency, the more we will be in pure joy and alignment with the harmony of nature and the true essence of who we are. Universal Kabbalah is the study of life and how to live our full potential in this life. The word Kabbalah means to receive, so allow yourself to just receive during these meditations. As you listen to these sacred tones and healing music, we invite you to allow your soul to soar within the vast realms of your true divine potential.
How would you interpret it as a member of the Council of 12? How would you look at it?
Well, I would say that, there is very much a spiritual hermetic teaching around, and a Kabbalistic teaching, and alchemical teaching, like all the ancient teachings that we study deeply, that and I could apply it just as much to physics as well, that there is a universal principle of masculine and a universal principle of feminine. And that these are two of the most important principles of creation or generation, moving, the dynamic between the two is so critical for the process of creating anything. And to try to homogenize them, it doesn't work, because then you don't have the polarity, the dynamic that is needed for that interplay. And so it's really important to recognize that equally important, equally needed, as you said, but different in function and different in the way in which we flow energy. And that's as it should be. And to try and eliminate that difference, or say there is no difference and we're equal, it meaning the same. We're not the same, right? We're different. And yet at a personal level, now I came in very much as I'm a strong, independent woman, and, had some programming by feminism in me, and had, as a woman in physics, I had to really become more in my masculine energy to survive that world, because it was mostly 80% men in that field. And so I came in with a very strong, programming, and that was a button that got pushed in me quite a lot in my early journey. But I can say that through my journey with the Mystery School as a woman, I have been more empowered to come into my authentic empowerment as a woman, to be strong, to be independent, to be active and contributing, yet to do so in a feminine way. And to recognize that there is value in a feminine way of creating, and I don't have to be or compete in a masculine way to have value. And so for me, at a personal level, it's been a very much a healing journey to reclaiming my feminine empowerment and being supported by, yourself, Founder Goodney, by the men in the school, and by the other women, because women sometimes will get into competition with each other, and, the cat fight, kind of the mean girl stuff. But we don't have that in the Mystery School, because we're all trying to encourage each other's empowerment, and recognizing the beauty of the feminine empowerment and the strength of the masculine, and that it's okay to be different, and to let go of the social narrative around it, and to just learn to harmoniously co-create and understand we have different functions. And while I might be able to do everything a man can do, it's easier for me to do what a woman can do, and to let a man do what a man can do more easily than I can. So I see that it's been a process of reprogramming, but it's also been a very personally experienced and felt and lived set of teachings that have revealed themselves to be true, that we are different, and that is exactly as it should be, and that it is perfectly, the perfect dynamic and co-creative flow happens when you have empowered men and empowered women working together towards a common mission to co-create together. And so I see that it's a very empowering structure that we've been in, and it's very much set in modeling after how things are in the hierarchical structure of creation and the universe and the spirit, all the way into the physical. Nature and the universe are full of hierarchies, but that's not like a linear pecking order kind of a hierarchy. This is how an integrated system operates to thrive, for there to be order, for there to be flow, and everything is in alignment with its function and its purpose. So I think that it's a shame when people are projecting sort of a matrix view onto us, because it's not how it is from the inner workings of it.
No, no. And so much of life in general is, if you can understand the aspects of divine feminine and divine masculine, then you realize that there's always kind of a dance between the two. And to know thyself is also to know thy place, which would in turn mean to know when it's also not your place. And so a part of that empowerment, and I've definitely experienced this with you, and I think we would all share a very similar experience, is we know when to back away from a situation because that's your place, and then you step forward, and it really is a dance of working together. I think all the men and women in the senior positions in the mystery school know this, and it's a beautiful thing because it's true communion of the masculine and feminine, to be able to know, okay, this is your thing, this is what you do, I back up, I'm here to support you. Oh, now I'll step to lead, you support me, and there's this ebb and flow, and it I say the word support, you feel so supported, but you truly feel at peace because you feel fulfilled. We are not meant to do everything on our own. To know thyself is to not to think I am everyone. It's to know who you are, and you are an individual. And that individual, if you're trying to do a community anything, unity anything, is going to need other individuals. And so it's never our place to say, I am all things everywhere all at once. You are some things in certain places at certain times. And then if you know what those other people are and you get to know each other, then you're able to sort of do this interweaving of energies and support with each other. That's fantastic. And it creates a more empowered individual on all sides, whether man or woman. And so you're right. The outside matrix world, or the opinion without experience world, can often look at those things and cast judgment. And I would say that is a very disingenuous way to look at things without having the direct experience, just to stand outside and point and say, I know, even though I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. Like, knowing yourself is knowing what you are, but also what you're not, who you are and who you're not. And when you come to that place of real, like, at oneness with who and what you are, and integrated with that, you let go of so much of the need to compete or compare to others, which is so what drives the world out there, is all this, competition and comparison. And but when you really know thyself, you let that go. And that is where I think so much of that inner peace comes from. And that sense of being fulfilled within yourself, and the way in which you can contribute to a greater whole, and knowing that you've got brothers and sisters who are there with you to fulfill other pieces, and you don't have to do that. And so you can just specialize in what you're best at, and what you love, and are just really good at. So this has been an amazing conversation. Now, I can't end it without mentioning your book again, right? So you've recently published the book. You are not perfect the way you are. I think we've heard a bit about why you chose that title. And we've talked about a few of the keys that you reveal. You have 11 keys in your book about how to really live in a more masterful way. And we've talked about several of them, but is there any other key that you might like to reveal here, just to give people another taste, to highlight it for those who are listening, that if they could just apply that one thing, that it would lead to a really big shift to helping them really set a new foundation in a new energy in their life? What would that be?
Oh, I'm going to give you two, if that's okay.
Okay.
The first one I'd want to reiterate, because I think it is so essential, and that is gratitude. Because without gratitude, you don't have enough in your life. You'll always be ungrateful about the things you don't have. So the first thing we do if we want to make a change or improve is we have to count our blessings. It's kind of almost nursery school in its understanding, but that's because it's such a foundation. No, the things you're grateful for, count them and know them, and know that the change is going to come from the things you're grateful for. And I would say that it's one that deserves extra attention. And if you were to ask me today, what I think the world might need, that is to challenge your beliefs in the understanding that you need to shift into reality more than ever before. And reality is that which is not malleable to your opinion, thoughts, or feelings. That's reality. So if it's not malleable, if you can't just change your mind and it changes, that was an illusion. You can do that. If your opinion about something doesn't change it, for example, I often use the color of a wall. If you don't like the color of a wall and you don't like it, that's your opinion. I don't like it, but it doesn't change based on your opinion. If it elicits a negative feeling, it doesn't change based on your feelings. And you can think at it all day. It's not going to change until you accept the color of the wall that you don't like and then take action to change it. So I would say you've got to shift out of the illusion of often what is our emotions towards something into the reality of the way it is. And that really ties into our beliefs about what reality is. And someone who lives in reality can actually make that reality better. You can change it because you accept what it is and you can take action to make it better. And a huge problem with the world today is people are in resistance to reality. They want to define, so many want to define reality as their feelings. And that's not reality. You don't have a truth. You have your opinion about life. It's not a truth. If we were to say that the only truth is reality, we were to make it simple, then you have to know what reality is to live in truth. And then if you want reality, if you want the world to be better, you've got to start in that reality first and foremost. So that would be something I would really focus on. And that specifically is about your belief system. And you should buy the book and read it. It's really important. The guy who wrote it,
good.
awesome.
Well, thank you, Ipsissimus Dave. Is there any final words you'd like to leave people with other than, to get into reality?
My final words would be this. I know this is, it's your channel. And I think that I want to tell everyone that from my perspective, they are blessed to have you doing what you do and being out there doing what you do. I know I am. And I want to thank you so much for having me on. You are one of my heroes in life. I've known you for a long time. I've watched you overcome, succeed, struggle through, and stand on top of those mountains. And I would tell anyone, if you're looking for someone who can guide you to a better place, then you, my dear Theresa, are one of those very, very few people with that knowledge who can really help people. And so thank you. Thank you for being in my life, dear.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, that's very touching. Thank you, Ipsissimus Dave. And I am very lucky to have you in my life as well. You've helped me out so many times. And you are very generous in sharing what you know, what you've experienced, your wisdom, and you are very genuine in wanting to help people live a better life. So thank you so much for all that you do and for being a part of this and letting me also serve side by side with you on this amazing journey. That brings us to the end of this conscious conversation with Ipsissimus Dave Lanyon. Dave, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing all of your deep wisdom and insights. And maybe we will do it again because I know I have so many more questions and I'm sure people have gotten some amazing value and wisdom to take from this. And there's always more to share. Well, I really hope that you have taken some golden nuggets out of this session and episode with Dave Lanyon. But most importantly, that you'll take some of this knowledge gained and some of these keys that were shared here with you and put them into application in your life so that you can really receive the full benefits from what we've just discussed. Now, as always, thank you for tuning in to Quantum Minds TV. And if you enjoyed it, please do rate, review, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and or Spotify. And if you'd like to be the first to get full access to each conscious conversation as soon as it becomes available, you can register at quantummindstv.com with your name and email. It's completely free to register, and it'll provide you then with a secret link where you can get the full access first before we release it to the public on YouTube. And then you can watch it at your leisure. And also, when you do, you'll receive other free gifts from me and other great content by becoming a part of my newsletter. So until next time, I'm Dr. Theresa Bullard White, and this is Quantum Minds TV.
This conscious conversation was created, produced, and recorded by Dr. Theresa Bullard White in collaboration with Dave Lanyon and edited by Verse Content and HH Films and Photo. The theme music and intro videography were produced by Tim Mountain of Even Load Productions. Quantum Minds TV is a product of the Quantum Learning Academy.